Have you ever felt like parenting is just this demanding performance? Like a role you have to play perfectly, following some script that society or your family or maybe even you wrote for yourself. It's a really common feeling, that pressure to be the ideal parent. But what if we could just set that script aside? Today, we're going to explore a really powerful shift, moving from seeing parenting as a role to embracing it as a real living relationship. So let's start right there, with that question point blank. Is parenting a role you play, or is it a relationship you actually live? Because the way you lean on that one question can totally change your entire experience of raising a child. And today, we're going to unpack exactly why. You see, the problem often starts with what we can call the parenting performance. It's this feeling that we're just playing a part, and we can get trapped in the costume of a perfect parent. And that can lead to this deep sense of disconnection, not just from ourselves, but maybe, most importantly, from our kids. Let's really break these two perspectives down. So on one side, you've got the sociological view, parenting as a role. It's kind of a one-sided performance, right? You're just following a script of what a good parent should do. And the big risk there? Feeling like a total fraud. But then, on the other side, you have this much deeper existential view, parenting as a relationship. Now, this is a two-sided, dynamic connection. It's a life that unfolds together, and this is crucial. It's a journey that actually transforms us. Okay, so to make this shift feel a little more real, I found this incredible metaphor that just gets right to the heart of it all. The question is, are you a carpenter or are you a gardener? Figuring out which one you lean towards, well, that's the first step to a much more conscious and connected way of parenting. So first up, let's look at the carpenter. The carpenter parent has this detailed blueprint for who their child is supposed to become. The star athlete, the brilliant scientist, the amazing artist. Their whole goal is to shape and mold and sculpt the child to match that specific plan, using tools like control, instruction, and discipline to build that final product. Now contrast that with the gardener. The gardener's approach is, well, it's completely different. They don't try to force a seed to become a rose if it's really an oak tree. Nope. Their entire focus is on creating the right conditions, the rich soil, the water, the sunlight, so the child can grow into whoever they are meant to be, according to their own unique nature. It's all about trusting the process. And when you lay them out side by side like this, wow, the differences are just so stark, aren't they? For the carpenter, the goal is a specific outcome, and success is when the kid meets the expectations. For the gardener, the goal is just creating the conditions for growth, and success looks like an authentic, resilient kid. And the most important point here is that shift in control, from the parent being responsible for absolutely everything to cooperating with the child's own nature. So what actually happens when you let go of that carpenter's blueprint and start walking the gardener's path? Well, the benefits are huge, and not just for your child, but for you too. Let's take a look at what that's like. For the child, the benefits are just immense. This approach accepts them for who they are, whether they're a rose, an oak tree, or even a cactus, right? It creates this safe space for them to figure out who they're really meant to be. And this is a big one. It builds resilience. A good gardener knows that a plant needs to face a little wind to grow strong roots. By allowing for manageable struggles, you're helping your child develop that inner strength to handle whatever the world throws at them. And for us as parents, this mindset brings such profound relief. Seriously. It gets rid of that crushing guilt that comes from feeling like you have to control every single outcome. It teaches you real patience because you're trusting a natural process that you just can't rush. And it makes you more mindful because to be a good gardener, you have to become a really careful, quiet observer of what your child truly needs. But you know what? It goes even deeper than that. The gardener's path actually invites us to completely reframe challenges. So instead of seeing tantrums or defiance as just problems to fix, we can start to see them as invitations for our own personal growth. This powerful idea is captured perfectly right here. In this way of thinking, the whole dynamic flips. Your child becomes your most important teacher, like a little Zen Master in your house, acting as a mirror that reflects your own inner state right back at you. So the crucial point becomes this massive internal shift in the questions we ask. We move away from asking, how can I fix my child? And we move toward a much braver question. Okay, what is this behavior teaching me about myself? Why am I having such a strong reaction to this right now? And here's why that question is so incredibly potent. A child's challenging behaviors, they have this uncanny ability to press on our most sensitive, unresolved issues. Their defiance might trigger our deep fear of losing control. Their mistakes might activate our fear of being seen as a bad parent. These moments, they show us our own unhealed wounds. A lot of the time, this is really a battle with our own ego. I mean, the ego wants to feel competent, it wants to be in charge, and it gets really threatened when a kid doesn't cooperate. But the path of growth, the conscious choice, is about pausing, choosing connection over conflict, and putting our child's actual needs ahead of our ego's need to be right. When we practice this, we step into an incredibly empowering role, the role of a conscious ancestor. This is all about moving from those inherited, automatic reactions to thoughtful, intentional responses. And by doing that, we can actually heal patterns that have been passed down for generations. Just think about the sheer power of this statement for a second. In my family, it was always done this way, but it ends with me. Every single time you choose a calm, compassionate response over a sharp, knee-jerk reaction, you're not just parenting your child in that moment, you are giving a profound gift to your entire family line. You become what's known as a transitional character. So how can we actually start walking this path like today? Here are 3 simple, totally doable practices. Number 1, the strategic pause. Just one deep breath before you react. That little gap, that is your space of freedom. 2, reflective journaling. At the end of the day, just notice your reactions, no judgment. Ask yourself, what brought out the carpenter in me today? And 3, set an intention, not a goal. So instead of a goal like, the toys must be cleaned up, maybe your intention is, I want to stay connected through this cleanup process. See the difference? And that brings us to one final, powerful question to sit with. What if the whole point of parenting isn't really about raising the perfect child, but about using the journey to raise yourself? It's a thought that can change everything. Thanks for exploring it with me today.